Now, let's move on the topic. The topic is maps. Definition of maps. There are different types of maps, and the most common is the past and present, or sometimes both maps may be in the past. There are also maps which show proposal for the future, such as redevelopment scheme. You will need to use specific vocabulary in this text, and the grammar needed will be the past tense, like was or were. The present perfect passive to describe change, and the preposition. You also have to use specific language that shows location and change. Please look at the picture. Can you see the picture? What do you see in the picture? Nice! This is a map. We will continue to find out about maps and what's going on. First section. In this section, I can tell you about key vocabulary to use for describing maps. They are four kinds of vocabulary to describe change. First, expanding. 2. Removing. 3. Addition. And 4. Change into something. Expanding consists of enlarge, expanded, extended, made bigger, and developed. Removing consists of demolish it, knock it down, pull it down, remove, thrown down, and cut down. Addition consists of constructed, built, erected, introduced, added, plain, and open up. Change into something consists of converted, redeveloped, replaced, made into, modernized, and renovated. Example sentence. Note that grammar used to describe change is in the passive. The office were demolished and the surrounding area was redeveloped with a new leisure center opening up. The shopping center was extended and the parking area was enlarged to accommodate more cars. The trees were cut down and new office block was erected. A railway was constructed with the introduction of a new train station. The industrial area was modernized and made bigger, with lots of new factories being built. The local government had the sport facilities renovated and the small park was made into a children's playground. The park was replaced with a new housing complex. Second section. In this section, I can tell you about vocabulary for showing location. When describing the location of something on a map, you should use phrases like to the north of, to the east of, in the west, to the south of, northwest of. Prepositions are essential when describing the location on a map, such as on, next to, near, from north to south, from east to west, by, across from, nearby, between, beside, over, and along. Example sentence of a vocabulary for showing location. The trees to the north of the river were cut down and a new office block was built. A railway was constructed to the east of the housing estate with the introduction of a new station. The forest to the west of the park was cut down and a new housing complex was constructed. The industrial area to the southwest of the station was expanded. The example preposition is houses were constructed next to the primary school. The forest near the river was cut down. A new railway running from north to south was built. The footpath by the river was expanded. Parking facilities were added to the city center. The school across from the park was extended and new sport facilities were built. Third section. In this section, I can tell you about vocabulary for describing change over time. When describing change, the present perfect and the present perfect passive is often used. Time phrases are also used, such as over 20 years. The present perfect and the present perfect passive shows that something started in the past up until the present moment. Example: has witnessed big change, or has become more industrialized, or has been built, or has been modernized. These sentences below are often used to give an overview of the main difference between the two maps. Over the 20 years period, the areas had witnessed big change, especially to the farmland areas which were redeveloped. From 1990 to 2010, and a new housing estate was constructed where a school once stood. The forest and green space have been profoundly affected over the 2 decades and were replaced by housing. In the period from 1990 onward, the leisure facilities were completely renovated. The city center has seen dramatic change over the years. In the years after 1990, the city center was exceptionally modernized. The town used to be very green, but it has become much more industrialized in the last 15 years. A new stadium has been built and more sport facilities have been opened up over the years. The overview. The overview comes just after the introduction and makes a general statement about the main difference between the maps. The overview is quite short, maybe about 2 or 3 sentences. Do not go into detail in the overview. Example describing of maps. The two maps illustrate the main development which have happened in the small town called Poloham from 1980 to 2010. Overall, rural and green areas have decreased and the area running along the main road has generally become more urbanized. While the river, the bridge and the main road remain in the same position, the most of obvious change have been from rural to urban areas. The rural areas of farmland to the south of the old town seem to have disappeared and have started to be replaced by residential development running parallel to the main road. In the north east of the river, the shops that once existed have been replaced by a cul-de-sac and the shops have gone. In the same area, on the opposite side of the main road, the land used for farming has also been replaced by a cul-de-sac and housing, and the footpath that ran from north to south has disappeared. The final significant difference has been the change in use of the large housing in the center of the maps. Its gardens have been built over with house and a road constructed to be housed which has been considerably extended and in 2010 was used as retirement home.